I searched long, and when I found it, it took time to prepare. Now I'm in Omsk, all for one thing. It sounds strange, I agree, but it's a fact. A humpback. The real deal, the very same K-700 from 1973. In the former Soviet Union, you can still find humpbacks, but mostly as monuments. But here, the tractor is alive and working. Before the Kirovets, there was no such machinery in Russia, but behind the Iron Curtain there was. Two prominent examples are John Deere and Wagner. In short, there were role models to look up to, especially since Soviet technology was already up to the task. And most importantly, Khrushchev. He liked the machine and demanded that they create something just like it, or even better. The task of creating the tractor was assigned to the Kirov plant in Leningrad, where the chief designer was Joseph Yakovlevich Kotin. He was the one who designed the IS and KV tanks. You know what's unique? The first tractors were ready as early as 1962. And mass production, that means building the assembly line, logistics, suppliers, and all the other manufacturing hassle. In short, in 1964, the first machines reached the people. And people were a bit taken aback by both the size and the design. They had never seen anything like this before. To start with, they were two frames. Although, to be precise, they were half frames and not ordinary ones. Well, actually, they were simple but powerful. Rectangles made of channels with reinforcements and welded pipes. And the pipes are pretty much everything for the Kirovets. The hinge. Can you imagine the kind of load it has to withstand? And it's not all that simple here. First of all, it's the turning mechanism. See the two hydraulic cylinders? Secondly, it helps the tractor move not only left and right, but also relative to its axis. The drive to the rear axles goes through the hinge. That's why there are a lot of universal joints here, and they're really massive. The rear of the Kirovets is the working part, just like any other tractor. But the Kirovets can also drive the other way around. The axle is bolted on solidly with no leaf springs, none here. Here you have the rear 3-point hitch and hydraulic outlets. This is a pendulum-type hitch device. It can easily tow 8 tons. The tractor can handle 9 tons of axle load, though Kiryua itself weighs 12 tons. I mentioned the lack of rear leaf springs for a reason. One of the most distinctive features of the 700 is the front leaf springs. The leaf springs and the shape of the hood, it's actually the shape of the hood that gave it the nickname the Hunchback. The rest of the tractor components are mounted on the front subframe. In fact, the whole tractor is here. Cab, hood, engine, gearbox. The diesel tank stays behind the cab, not yet in the fenders. Capacity is 450 liters. Next to it is the oil tank. Here's a fun fact. There's plenty of diesel and a storm too, but the tap is positioned in such a way that at least 20 liters always remain. The engineers did this to allow for a sediment trap for mud, but our collective farmers would add water to raise the diesel level, just to make it to their destination. Have you seen the hubcaps? They're more expensive than the tractor itself. They were specially ordered from Kazakhstan, installed until 1970, and are almost impossible to find now. Well then, let's begin the ascent. Not a small cabin, and most importantly, everything is clear and familiar. As for innovations, air conditioner, K-700. They installed it themselves because in the heat it can get up to 50 to 60 degrees in here. Sometimes the cab eats up. Looking at the instruments, what do we see here? Battery charge, hydraulic system pressure, tackle speedometer, pneumatic system pressure, compressor oil pressure, engine temperature, oil temperature, and of course the coolant. Information plates with you on the TM. Spring mounted. Now about the levers. The first lever is the gear shift with 2 neutral positions, parking, neutral, and regular neutral. The second lever is for modes. The third lever is for high and low range, and the fourth lever engages the rear axle. On the right side, there are 3 hydraulic system levers. Well, everything is clear with the pedals except for this magic one. I'll figure it out later. And of course, the handbrow. The steering column isn't original, but it's convenient. Back then, this house was considered a mansion. Ventilation and filtration system, sound insulation, heating, and other features that weren't available to its younger siblings. But most importantly, 2 people can fit here comfortably. There's even a mini throne of its own. It's not summer outside, we're in Omsk. Did you forget? That means the engine needs to be warmed up. Warmed up well. Let's start. Originally, the Hunchbacks were equipped with YaMZ 238 NB engines, producing 215 horsepower. Ours has a new YaMZ 6582, which is needed for work. It has an almost 16-liter displacement, 8 cylinders arranged in a V-shape, a 4-stroke engine with compression ignition and direct fuel injection. It fits perfectly, but with a turbo and intercooler, it delivers 330 horsepower. That is impressive by any standard. Engines like this are installed in Maz trucks, Urals, and other powerful machinery. The tractor has many hydraulic systems. There's a separate, independent system for controlling mounted and towed implements. It has its own system for steering control, and another one for controlling the gearbox. That's why there are dozens of liters of oil here. Liters. Bus enthusiasts, this information is for you. The company Modimio has released the Rolls-Royce among Soviet buses. Icarus, model 250-59. Well, what can I tell you about it? Actually, there's nothing that needs to be said. It's an Icarus after all. It needs no introduction. The model is 1:43 scale and painted. You can order one for your collection using the link in the description. Icarus models sell out faster than any others. They're popular buses. So don't wait too long to buy, or you might miss out. And now, how to get it won. There's no clutch here, so naturally there's no clutch pedal either. But there is a drain pedal, which cuts off the oil supply. Well, figuratively speaking, if we put it very simply. On part, you switch to the mode. Press the main drain pedal, shift into the very first gear, and off you go. By the way, the gears shift just like on a motorcycle. First, second, third one after another, and fourth accordingly. And the same goes for downshifting. I'll say this with a smile, but don't take offense. When I'm enjoying myself, I'll give you such an incredible ride that you'll enjoy the experience as well. I'll give you such a ride that you'll like it. And you can easily drive a Kirovets, the old hunchbacked one, on public roads. And do you know why? Because it's narrower than the modern ones, the 701s. And that's, you have to admit, a big advantage. You drive out onto the road in your Kirovets, the old one, and the traffic cops can't do anything to you. They can run around you with a tape measure all they want, but everything you have is within the legal limits. The engine is both heavy and powerful. To reduce vibration, the engineers mounted it on rubber pads. This reduced the transmission of vibration. But let's get back to the gearbox. It's not quite ordinary, even though it's mechanical. As a result, we have 16 forward gears and 8 reverse gears. And thanks to the presence of friction clutches, the gears shift easily. You don't need to rev up the engine, you don't need to gun it or strain the motor. Simply pull the control lever firmly towards yourself and the tractor will begin to move much faster. At maximum, everything adds up to 35 kilometers per hour. Then the bouncing ball mode might kick in and the tractor will hop away. The ground clearance, which is called agrotechnical clearance, is large on this tractor. Or rather, there are kind of two of them. Under the vertical frame hinge, it's 440 millimeters, and under the mounting brackets for the attachments, it's 340 millimeters. The engine's power is efficiently distributed to the wheels, also thanks to the planetary gearboxes on each wheel. You won't see them, but they're there. The brakes are drum type, and the compressor pumps air into the buffer reservoir. From there, it goes to the pneumatic distributor and to the wheel brake cylinders. A big horse eats a lot. You understand that in the field, fuel consumption is a relative thing. 100 liters per shift, 12 hours. But that's according to the manual. But really, who actually counted? Speed. Well, that's also a pretty relative thing. Again, 10 kilometers per hour. That is, the Kirovets can plow at a speed of 10 kilometers per hour. And that's fast. For example, according to open sources again, in an hour, Khrushchev could fully plow 2 hectares, thus replacing 3 DT-54s. The savings are immediately obvious. Plus, the number of different attachments you can mount today is in the hundreds. The steering is power assisted, but operating an articulated tractor is extremely unusual. The turning radius is 7 meters, which is basically turning on a dime. The main drive here is the front, but as a rule, hardly anyone disconnects the rear. But the K-700 can get stuck in a muddy field or on a road. It's heavy, so it's very easy to bog down the tractor. And with an insane amount of power under the hood, Khrushchev can dig himself in so deep that it would be cheaper to just burn him right on the spot. All the drawbacks of the 700 are due to its weight. It could compact the field so much that nothing would grow there for 2 years. But that's a debatable claim. People deeply love the Kirovets, with all its pros and cons. Its remarkable main feature is that if you take care of it, check on it on a regular basis, our K-700 is a vivid example of this. Before it was bought and restored, it had been working in the field since the day it was originally manufactured. In the USSR, no equipment had a single use. The Kurovets was also a military tractor. The Hunchback was produced briefly, so few survive today. They do weigh a lot, though. It was succeeded by its son, the K-700, which had outgrown its childhood issues. But the father's name became a household term for all subsequent models, well, except for the plastic ones from recent years. The K-700 sounds proud, and it looks impressive too. Thanks to the owner, Alexei, for letting us take it for a spin and show it to you. Thank you, it was worth it. We flew all the way to Omsk for this. The hunt continues. That's it, folks. The movie's on.